Well, he says he was like a task force reporter
Yeah,
guy.
and he's a big fat liar. I'm just saying that usually people.
Well, we do have a main topic tonight. It's not as silly as the other stuff we just did, but there's been a lot of talk about UFOs lately, right? So there was a man named David. I'm going to probably butcher his last name. I think it's David Grusch, and he used to work for the Air Force, and he was kind of in that area of intelligence where he might have heard rumblings of UFOs. And we're going to go over some of his comments from an interview that he had. But yeah, basically he says he believes we're not alone. Before we get started, what is your thoughts of UFOs, aliens, and all of that?
I'm agnostic on it, if that makes sense. I can't say they don't exist. I can't say they do exist. And if it turns out they do exist, I won't care. Does
Mm.
that make sense? Unless they promise to come and blow up the planet, and then I will actually welcome them with open arms because we're done. We're done.
So would you be the lady from Independence Day holding the sign saying "Come take me"?
Take me with you. Probably because
Okay.
those videos that say it's time to leave Earth that John Talks does. It's like I
Uh-huh.
want to leave Earth. And we're so doomed. We're so doomed.
Okay, so you would go with them.
I would go with them. I mean, why not?
Okay. Well,
It
I
couldn't
mean,
hurt.
I don't know if I would. I think I would probably stay here.
My
I
mom
don't
would want to
really.
go. She's really into aliens. She loves. I mean,
Oh
she's one
yeah.
of those. She's a true believer. She's been to Roswell and all that, and yeah,
Mm.
she loves it.
Yeah. I don't. So you would probably want to go, and you would probably want to see what they're all about, and kind of hang out with them. Is that what
Yeah,
you
and
would?
if you know anything about Close Encounters of the Third Kind, I can speak to them because I actually use Solfege. Solfege is my thing. So yeah,
Okay.
I can talk to the aliens.
Well, like I said, over the past 6 years, there's been a lot of information that has like substantial information supposedly that have come out regarding UFOs. And did you know that they changed the name of them? Like
N-
everything in the world. Now they're called unidentified phenomenon or phenomena, or something like that.
what?
Aerial phenom, yes, unidentified aerial phenom. UAPs.
That is the dumbest thing I've heard in my life.
So they're no longer UFOs, unidentified objects. They're unidentified aerial phenomena. So there's flying.
I think the aliens don't give a rat's rear end what we call them. So call them UFOs.
Yeah, they probably don't. They probably call themselves like a Chevy. Like they probably have a name for their ship. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
X915 or something, right?
Correct.
So just a lot of stuff has been public. It started with a article in New York Times that a former Senator Harry Reid had discreetly allotted at $22 million of defense spending to investigate these foreign objects. Do you think that's good tax dollars going to good use there, spending on this?
I'd rather them go to that than to some of the other nutty things they are.
I guess that's true, right? So, but when this article came out, the floodgates just opened, and U.S. and Navy, former U.S. Navy and Air Force members went public with a lot of reports that they had frequently encountered UFOs, and even including video footage. Have you seen some of that video footage where it kind of looks like a tic tac and it like speeds away, or like there's a black dot like kind of floating around. There's all kinds of stuff. Very fast objects. Shortly thereafter, the Pentagon doubled down on its investigations into these aerial phenoms, and established the unidentified UAPs task force with the Office of Navy Intelligence. So they created a task force now. So now there's a task force. There wasn't one before, or maybe there was one and it was called MIB. But
Yeah, I think that they've been doing things with them for a very long time.
yeah. Stig says, I've seen UFOs. The sky is extremely clear up here in Norway during the winter. Seen unexplainable flying objects several times. Ooh.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
wonder
true
if he's
story.
been probed
Oh,
before.
uh, no, he wasn't probed. Uh,
Joker says Harry Reid was one of the worst senators to hold ever to hold office. Hmm. Okay. Uh, it's good to know. So that's interesting, right? They made a task force after all these reports came out. It's like they thought you would think they already knew, right? If all these
mhm.
people came out. So this is sorry. Now, a former member of that task force has come out forward. He claims about the military's handling of important UFO related information. So on June 5th, pretty recently, that's why I wanted to do this story. Writers Ken and Ralph um, Bumpthal, the same dude who wrote that article in 2017, published an article with a debrief with David here. Gave both, so he said he gave both Congress and the intelligence community inspector general intensive classified information about covert programs that allegedly retrieved intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin things. That's pretty cool, right? That'd be kind of a neat
Yeah,
job, like, right? They go, we don't know where this is from, and we're gonna try to figure it out and maybe report it to the big wigs. That'd be
yeah. Like,
kind of that's a
is that
job.
is that like the X Files? I had never actually watched X Files, but I think that
That was like everything, right? They went after the supernatural, they went after ghosts, they went after all kinds of stuff, aliens. They went after supposed other things. That was a good show. You never watched that?
no, I haven't. I'm in big trouble because I never have. So I need to get
It's
to
okay.
it. I am very well aware.
It's pro-
Um,
I don't know if it. I wonder if it would date itself. To be honest,
Interesting.
yeah, I wonder if it would be as good. Um, Stig did say he wasn't probed. Um, so,
Yeah,
hmm.
I'm telling. By the way, he's talking about J.R. Marjade. He's already on her crap list. It's like it's about number 100 at this point, and he
Okay.
knows I'm going to tell her. So he's in trouble. Yeah.
So the information about these programs that Gersh said had previously been illegally withheld from Congress. Um, Garrett also filed a complaint alleging that the staff illegal retaliation for disclosing the information to Congress. So there was like they had this information, they weren't really using it correctly. He was 36 when he was in the office in Afghanistan, and a veteran to the National Geo. I'm gonna like really butcher this one. Geo uh, Partial Intelligence Agency. I guess it's called NAG. Have you ever heard of that one?
Nah. No, but I think that's the best name ever.
And the National Reconnaissance of Office. So NORO. Hmm. From 2019 2001, he served as NARO's representative to the unidentified aerial phenom task force. So later serving as the NAG's co-lead and UAP analyst for 2000. So he's he's in it. He could probably tell you some neat stories. What do you
Oh,
think?
yeah, that's pretty.
I mean,
That's
he
pretty.
seems like was pretty close to right.
Uh-huh.
Joker says he had two ex-wives. I totally know about nags.
Oh no.
Wow. Okay. You have two ex-wives? Really?
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Did not
That
know
means
about
he has no money.
Hmm. Hmm. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was for good reason. In his complaint, Garris claimed that the Pentagon, defense contractors, and other nations had recovered fragments of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether whether it was unknown or they thought it was extraterrestrial, based on the vehicle um, morphologies. Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time with some of these words.
Yeah.
And the material science testing. So I guess, they must have tested the material, and if it came back, we don't know what this is.
Mm.
There was a lot of reports of that, and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures for decades up through the present day. So they have, I guess, the Pentagon has a lot of information on this stuff, and they're not telling people.
We knew they were lying all along.
Yeah, they're probably gonna take me down here soon. So
Yeah.
hopefully, hopefully they don't. Maybe they'll take me down for Stig, not saying
Yeah.
secrets. Garrett followed protocol with this information as well. First, providing the defense officer of pre-publication and security review, and the Department of Defense with the information he later disclosed to Ken and Boomsdale. So this information he whistleblowed or whatever he told the Pentagon about in the early April. He's on record statements were clear or open publication. So they told him he can say this stuff, but I guess they got pretty mad when he came out the other day about something. I mean, the government likes to keep their secrets, right?
Yeah.
So he said, I mean, do you? I mean, I can understand why if they knew there was something out there in the world, right? I understand why they wouldn't say something, but to be
Yeah.
completely secret about it, I don't know if I would.
Maybe that's part of the deal with the aliens. Maybe the aliens are sitting there going, "We've seen you all. You guys suck. Okay, so you're not allowed to let
Yeah,
them
you are
know."
not allowed to mix with us. We're
Yeah.
not. We don't want you even close to our planet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wherever
we've
they're
seen what you
from.
do with your children.
Yeah, we don't want any of that.
Yeah, stay away from our children.
Well, some aliens you can't tell who's who anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter to them. So, during his time with UAP Task Force, Gura said they had been refused access to crash um, retrieval program, which he told the News Nation when he on this interview are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles. So they were told that the government has these, and they were supposed to go out there and find these things, and the government wasn't telling them about it, even though he worked for the government. That's interesting. And then they would either call it a spacecraft, if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed. So they must have a warehouse of these things, according to this guy.
Sounds like an Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because but you understand what he's saying? He's saying that they were supposed to go out and like look for this stuff, and they would get trails that led to that the Pentagon had most of this, and they weren't letting him review it, even though he was part of the government. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Well, I mean, but if you need to keep these things secret, you need to follow orders, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe there's like a level,
Yeah.
and it doesn't sound like Task Force was on a very high level.
Yeah.
In this same interview, Gears also admitted that he claims he could sound his claims could sound ludicrous. So he says they could sound crazy, like he said. At first, he believed he was being lied to or deceived in some way. They were telling him that no, there wasn't. Then he said people started to confide in him or approach him, and I have plenty of senior former intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career. They confided in him that they were part of this little program that was retrieving UFOs that crashed throughout the years. So I guess he had friends in high places, and they finally just told him, maybe over a pub crawl, that they said, yeah, they're out there. So.
Yeah, had too many pints.
Yeah, like 1960, I was a part of that thing in New Mexico, and we had a bunch of stuff. That's usually how secrets get slipped, by the way. Just to note on that one. Garris also mentioned that he has not seen any photos. So he hasn't seen any photo proof of what supposedly was collected. But he has said he has spoken with numerous intelligence officers who have photos. One such officer, Jonathan Gray, spoke with the debrief. Gray, a generational officer of the United States Intelligence Committee with a top secret clearance. Now that's what you need. You need top secret clearance. Yeah. Currently working for the National Air and Space Intelligence Agency, and that's NASIC, not NASA. That's NASIC. Said the non-human intelligence phenom is real. We are not alone. Retrievals of this kind are not limited to the United States. This is a global phenom, and yet a global solution continues to elude us. Well, I guess there's all kinds of countries grabbing stuff.
Huh. What does that even mean? A global solution continues to elude us. It's like, what solution is there?
The solution is to what to do with it, maybe.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's
Or can we remake it? I mean, if you think about it, right? Maybe these aliens had drones before we did, like objects that would be
oh,
manned, right? And then we like copied the technology.
ah,
It's if you think about it, it's very interesting how rapid air travel happened, like literally in the 50s and 60s. We figured out propellers, right? And you can fly like that, but I mean, they were figuring
huh.
out jets pretty quick there, right after there was this rumbling about UFOs.
Well,
So,
but jet engines. Oh, you mean after? Because I thought
anything
they had them in World War II. They
they
developed.
did, they
Yeah,
did, but maybe they were like kind of like, oh, we figured something out, and the aliens were like, oh yeah, we've done this for years.
yeah. Well, and
And
then
then
that
some
was how we were
people,
able to get to the moon.
yeah, maybe we helped them, maybe we towed them there,
Hmm.
maybe the aliens towed us there.
Yeah.
You know, no, I'm Cap. I should know this information, but no one tells me it's Shield, so I don't know anything.
They're keeping
um,
America's ass in the dark.
Yeah, they make me just do parades and I wave at people. That's literally all I do. So they
Mm.
don't tell me a whole lot. It's not that it's not just that the U.S. military has been keeping this information secret, though. Classified information is nothing new, of course. But rather that, according to Garrett, the American people have been lied to for years. Darn it! Have we really? I'm shocked.
I know. I just can't. I can't believe it.
I
I
have been
never
lied
thought.
to this whole time. There is a sophisticated information campaign targeting the U.S. Populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral, said Gary. Well, they
Mm,
want to tell us, but it could be pretty scary and
yeah,
it could be pretty immoral.
people could panic. It's happened. They've shown that in all those fictional things. People
Well,
start to commit
yeah, yeah.
suicide, and yeah, I mean, we just don't know.
What's that movie, Signs, when people just freak out, right?
Yeah.
Because these aliens are showing up all over the world. And even in that movie, people do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Hmm.
The military has allegedly recovered more than just foreign craft as well. In fact, Garrett's claimed that the craft's pilots have been recovered along with the vehicles. So they even have specimens.
Oh, they got specimens.
Well, they said that with was it Roswell? Yeah, Roswell. They had bodies. So
Oh yeah.
maybe they have
Oh
skeletons. There you go. There's one. Well, naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots, of course. And believe it or not, as a fantastical as they sound, it's true. So yeah, I mean, they would have pilots, right?
yeah.
And and this is from one of those. This is a clip from a YouTube video out there. I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but it's an very old YouTube video where they showed clips of the supposed aliens that were found at a crash site, and that's a clip from an actual. You
Yeah.
think that's real?
I think a lot of those might be fake. I mean, I don't
Mm.
know because they
Really?
can.
Mm.
Well, it's so easy to stage them.
Well, this was like before like cool CGI. When this was
I don't know.
okay.
Don't
Uh,
hate me, people.
Leslie also spoke to the News Nation, saying that she and Blumenthal have multiple sources to back up Gersh's story. However, neither has seen any photographs or documents. So they have proof, but they don't have proof.
Hmm.
Hmm. The problem with that is all of that information is classified. As we said in the story, everything that Garrett told Congress and told the Department of Defense Inspector General, all of that information is classified. Everything is classified.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
I
just kind of like hearsay, right? He's just saying, I knew some stuff, I heard some stuff, I said some stuff, I reported on some stuff, but he can't really say what the stuff is.
Yeah, and so I'm suspicious. I'm a historian. What do I always say that makes everyone so mad? Cite your source. If you can't cite your source, I can't believe you. Like, oh, trust me, I've got my contacts. It's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
trust me. It's like, no, I don't trust you. Sorry.
Yeah,
And if
yeah, you gotta have something. Stick says they had an alien autopsy video in the 90s. Yeah, that's not what that's from. That's actually from that video. Still, if Garrish's words are true, It would mark the first time an official representative of the U.S. government has stated that we are not alone in the universe. So a lot of people are like they're like Air Force pilots or military people, but they're not. They weren't as classified or in the cool group as he was. And he said this in his interview. We are definitely not alone. He said the data points are there quite and we're just not alone. So he's basically saying we are not alone
Mhm.
in this universe.
Well, walk on with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone.
Oh wow, that was a good one.
Well, the song and the Liverpool.
Yeah, but that
Um,
that sounded like you really know that phrase. Like you say it a
oh,
lot.
well, I'm a singer, so
Oh, you
sorry.
are.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
that's the other thing. Yeah, I'm a Wagnerian soprano, actually, opera, but
really.
but I do sing. I've done musical theater in my day.
You to the story. What did you think about? What do you think about David's information? Do you think it's all true, or if he's just kind of getting a payday from the because he knows he was in the maybe he was like, do you think he was in the department or was he kind of just hanging out?
I think that it could be true, but so could a lot of things be true. It's I need more than what he's giving us. And as far as like what he did is like, okay, so maybe he was a caterer that served the cokes. I don't know. It's like
Whoa.
what the heck were you in there? Uh,
He says he was like a task force reporter
yeah,
guy.
and he's a big fat liar. I'm just saying that usually people say, "Oh, I was so important," and then it turns out, like
There
in
you
it,
go.
uh,
He can't give much.
like in